In this video, I'm going to explain exactly how pricing a product should actually work. So you might be selling something or you're a business owner and you're just really not sure why there's inconsistencies in the sales. Things are just going up and down. Maybe payment plans are not being fulfilled, all that kind of stuff. Well, I have owned multiple 8-figure companies. I have had my own coaching company that got up to $30 million a year. I had an agency that did sales for other people in all different industries that got up to $30 million a year. I've owned my own gyms. I was a full-time sales guy for a very long time. I have sold a lot of different things, and I've even restructured billion-dollar companies, and I've been asked to come through and fix acquisition for a lot of different places. And one of the key things that I see is that the pricing makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. People are running around pricing products because they think it's worth that much without doing a lick of competitor analysis. And I'm going to show you exactly how big, successful businesses price their products to be competitive and to also entice upsells. I mean, most of you have just priced it because, like, hey, 10K seems cool. Show me the money! Okay, so one of the first things I'm gonna go is to Apple, okay? Now, you're not Apple, but don't worry about it. However, I wanna show you what the Apple does, I think, better than anybody else, which is the, fuck it, pricing, okay? So when you have a look, the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, the iMac, the Mac Mini, yada, 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 they're all for different demographics of people. The MacBook Air is definitely more for a student demographic. MacBook Pro is more for professionals, okay? So what we're gonna see is we're going to compare the models of the MacBook Air. We're gonna see what Apple does and what they're placing value on, right? We're gonna go to the little compare models section. So as you can see, they've got $1699, $2099, and $2499, and this is when you get into the MacBook Pro. Now, we're gonna have a look. So size, okay? So 13, 15, 14, okay? It's kind of weird they have a 14, but we'll see why. All right, so at a quick look, okay? The display, the chip is the same, intelligence is the same, this is the same, this is the same, this is the same, this is the same. Everything is the fucking same. Why? Because the only thing that is the determining factor behind why somebody buys a MacBook is the fucking size of it. That's it. Why? Because the demographic doesn't give a shit. There's no graphics cards in one of those things. So whether it has the M3 or the M4 or the M5, they don't really give a shit, okay? And so, like, it's just, the only thing they might want to do is upgrade the storage, right? And that's why Apple has placed this right here. Like, okay, if you're willing to spend $2,100, maybe you're willing to spend $2,500, you get the Pro, so you get to be a little bit cooler. It's still it's still a bigger screen, right? A little bit smaller, but it's like the perfect in-between size. You get an upgraded chip, okay? You get a bit more memory, a bit more battery life, and you get the Pro version, okay? Now, most of the students are going to stick to there, and they're going to decide whether they want the cheap one or the more expensive one, and the only thing that matters is the size. Remember, every other element is absolutely identical. If we then change that, and that's the demographic, okay? If we then change that to the Pro models, okay? So we got the 14-inch Pro, right? And yes, we're going to do it this way. Now, you'll see that there is going to become a stark difference in a lot of these things, okay? So it's no longer that nothing changes but the size. Now the size is the same, okay? But what does change, okay? You get the Pro chip, okay? This is the newer version, so it's got the, we'll go to the, well, they got the, okay, anyway. So this is the Pro chip and the Max chip, okay? You've got different CPU processing powers. You've got different GPU, which is a huge deal if you're someone who's dealing with video, okay? You've got a lot more memory, and you've got the same storage but more up here, and you've got relatively similar battery life, although this one has the most. And so that now we're seeing that, like, the user of these products, okay, has a different use case. Now, do you think that it is that much more expensive to add a 14 core versus a 10 core versus a 16 core? No. Do you think a 20 core is much more expensive from a GPU perspective to actually do it? No. Do you think that adding in that little bit of fucking RAM or memory, whatever the fuck they call it, is more expensive? No, it's not. It's not that much more expensive. This is not a cost of goods thing. This is a, what do you value? I know what you value because I've done all the market research, and I know that there's enough of you that will go, fuck it, I'll get that one. Right? And that's what they've done absolutely beautifully. If you have a look at all of their phones, right? And they're going specific to the user, right? So it's like, and the MacBook Air is an absolutely beautiful version. It's a fantastic way to see that. The Air user does not give a shit about the memory, anything but like battery life, screen size. That's about it, right? So like, it's just, do you want the bigger one or the smaller one? And you're going to pay if you want the bigger one. And the bigger one is not that much more expensive, right? It's really not. It's like, okay, it's, only a couple $100. It's like, but then it's like, but do you want the Pro? It's only a little more. You get a little bit more of this and this, right? And it's like, so you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just get that one, right? Then you get into the territory where you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just get that one. But now it's like, oh no, now I've got these ones in front of me, and it's like, oh, fuck it, I'll just get that one.
Shut up and take my money.
And that's what they've done so well. You know what I mean? Everything steps up. And if you have a look at like the very bottom to the very top in terms of MacBooks, right? You're looking at a bigger display, more powerful chips, and just significantly more memory, right? Because that's what people want. They want performance and memory. Like I would never buy this one here because I do tons of video. Like 32 gigabyte is going to be this recording right here. Okay? It's not even that big of a file. And so like I'm going to need a lot of space. And I don't want to have to carry around external drives, so I want to have the 8 terabyte. This is the model that I have. I think I have the one up from this actually. I have like the super duper one, right? No, it's this one, right? So yeah, and they understand the use case, right? So what can we take away from that? Like, we need to understand why we are pricing our product the way we're pricing, and we need to be realistic about what it should actually cost, because what I think it should cost is absolutely irrelevant. One of the more interesting things that you can do is if you want to find out the actual price of your product, one, before you launch, you can do market research and you can create Venn diagrams of like what people are offering and what you're going to offer, and then like what's established in the marketplace. And then if you're a newbie, you can probably serve you to undercut. Right? So it's like I'm doing the same thing at a lower price. That's a good strategy for business. Then from there, you can go, okay, well, I want to do something different. So you've got to add all the deliverables and you go, what can I do that's different? Because if you're the same in the same price, you're just a commodity. There's nothing special about you from a business perspective. If you've been running the business for a while and you have a bit of data, you can actually find out what the market is saying about your product. So when I was running 7th Level, for those of you who don't know, I was the co-founder and CEO of 7th Level. We were selling our Inner Circle for $18,000. This is years ago, mind you, for $18,000. Now, what ended up happening is like I ran an analysis on every payment plan. We had a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 6, I'm pretty sure. Like 1, 2, 3, 6, right? And it was $18,000, and I ran an analysis over the course of a year. So this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales. Now, the 1 pays, fantastic, they all paid. The 2 pays, the rate of second payment was obnoxiously low. And so we really, let's just say the 2 pay was 9. We usually only get around 11,000 on average from a 2 payer. That's on average because you got to take into account the 1 pays, the 2 pays, and like the percentages thereof, right? And our refund rates were insanely low as well. Then you got like the 6 pays. The 6 pays were miserable. It was like 2 payments on average, right? And then you got the 3 pays, which usually paid all of it. And then the 1 pays obviously paid them all. And so we figured out that the actual market value was $13,000, right? So what I did is I lowered the price down to 15 and 13 for a PIF. And we made way more sales and made way more money and collected way more cash. Why? Because we decided to put ego aside and stop pretending that we were selling it for 18K and then go, okay, cool, this is what the market has said and has spoken. We are selling it for $13,000. Okay, and that's one way that you can figure out. It's also, we restructured the payment plans. We did no more 2s and no more 6s. So we did a 1, a 3, and a 4, I'm pretty sure. And that worked out way better. 1, there was less administration attached to it. And then 2, we had much higher fulfillment rates because the payment plans were structured much better. What we found is that people who did a 2 pay, a significant amount of people would just come in, take all of the info and kind of bounce out and then just like not pay their second one. And so, it was an interesting insight. Then the next thing that we did in order to make sure that our pricing and our programs were structured correctly was that we interviewed a whole bunch of clients. And then we laid out the deliverables extremely clearly, and we said, okay, what percentage of the program that you paid do you espouse to this, to this, to this, to this? And we were absolutely shocked that some of the things that we thought were extremely high value, that were costing us a lot of money to do, they did not care about in the slightest. And because like you're never going to get that perfect, and your customer knows what the customer wants way better than what you or the marketing team does. And then we started going, okay, well, what if we added this and took this away? And we ended up finding out that like we could probably get away with charging a little bit more and bumping it back up to say like, like adding $1,000 to those previously stated payment plans. And we could actually deliver less, but certain things with a higher perceived value. And that was a really interesting insight. And it worked, and it worked very well. And we were able to have a higher profit, higher perceived value business where it was priced correctly for the marketplace. It was priced correctly for what we were delivering, and what we were delivering was what the clients wanted. And that led to a good, profitable front end ROAS and overall profitable company with 7 figures a year in profit, plus, including paying the owners pretty handily. And so that is how
Shut your fucking mouth!
And so that's how I think that pricing should be done. That's like one of the ways anyway. And, I think that you guys would make more sales and you'd be overall happier if the business that you sell for, or if your business had pricing that actually made sense instead of it just being like a bunch of spaghetti thrown at a wall. If you like this kind of business content, let me know down below and I'll do more of it. Have a good day.